Hi, I'm Greg Benevent from Website Depot, and today I'm very happy to join you from the headquarters of Noxudol USA. Noxudol is a superior undercoating that provides rust protection for vehicles of all kind, and I'm very happy to be joined today by my friend Efren Rivas here from Noxudol. Efren, it's nice to meet you here. Nice to see you in person, finally. Can you tell us just a bit about yourself and what it is you do here at Noxudol.
Greg, thank you very much, and thank you, Web Depot, for taking the time to come over, and do this. And yeah, we will talk a little bit about Noxudol. Where is Noxudol coming from? Actually, Noxudol is Awesome, which is the manufacturer. It's a Swedish product. Okay. Comes straight from Sweden. We import it directly from Sweden, and we distribute it to the U.S. basically in the Northeast corridor, which is all the 20 South Belt states, what we call it in the States. Okay. I can tell you a lot about it. You know, we have products that they will protect the internal part of the vehicle, as well also the internal part of the vehicle. We have eco-friendly, which is zero solvent, based products, and we got solvent-based products on that side, and we got water-based to it. Okay. So.
I'm, as someone that's from one of those 20 states, I'd be fascinated, first, if you could talk a little bit about what is it that Noxudol does. Like, if I want to say to somebody, hey, you should use Noxudol, it's because it... Okay,
the reason why we focus on it and we say the 20 South Belt, and since we were talking about earlier that you told me you were in with the beautiful Pittsburgh, PA, so that obviously they do spread a lot of salt and de-icing. So the DOT of these states encourage to say that they care about the safety of the driving.
Okay, the Department of Transportation tells people, hey, we worried about the safety of the drivers. Okay.
Correct. So these de-icing chemicals that they use on the road, it damages the frame of the vehicles. Okay. That's something basically manufacturers also concerned about it, but it's very like, quote, I will say, that they're sprayed on manufacturer level. So that's why Noxudol was created, to prevent and to protect the vehicles. Not only the new vehicles, also the older vehicles too. So not only brand new vehicle it needs it, but the older vehicles too. So we always say it's good to do it on the new ones because there's no rusting there. So that's basically what the Noxudol is used for.
Okay, so as I understand it then, that's when someone purchases a vehicle, whether it's a new one or maybe it's an older one, there's whatever layer of rust protection is on that undercarriage does not equal up to what we have here from Noxudol. Noxudol protects the vehicle's undercarriage that much greater wherever it may go.
Definitely, that's what we're talking about, yes. Besides the protection that the dealer or the manufacturer will give you, this is an additional or extra to extend the life of the vehicle. I would say that's our very more, I could call it probably a slogan. You say to make your life longer. All right.
Well, I don't know if it's just a slogan, if it's true. I mean, it actually works.
Yeah. So that's what we basically wanted to say,
Gotcha.
And that's what we like to help and do for the customers up there.
Okay.
Yes. Probably. Since we have this in here,
I was going to ask about this thing eventually. There's all these nice bottles, and then there's this thing that looks like it's been rusting since the late 1800s.
Basically, can tell. Yes, exactly. I think it's a piece of the Titanic or something up there that we picked up.
Look at this.
Anyway, this is a piece of a frame, actually.
Okay.
All this, what we can see, the damage, in here.
Yeah, you can
and
see
the internal
damage.
part of it, it's basically was done by the ice.
Okay, so this was done by ice.
Yes, this is exactly the ice. It will cause that in there, and this is what we would like to protect.
Okay.
So this is something that we don't see on the outside.
So this can be going on inside your car, and you'll have no idea.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yes.
Jeez. Okay.
So by the time you see the little bubbles on the side of the on the outside, the internal part of it, it's completely gone.
Okay.
And that's why I brought also a little bit
you got
here.
Even, not just this scary thing.
No. I have
something
scary pictures in here.
Oh man, this is.
Look at this.
Look at this.
This is actually,
is
what we call a rocket panel. And once we open, and this is a 3-year-old car.
That's only a 3-year-old car.
3-year-old car on the Northeast corridor.
Okay.
Okay, this is the damage that it will do.
Right, and it wasn't. This
If we
wasn't a
don't.
car that was like left outside for like 3 years or something. This was somebody like used it, they drove it, they took
Yes,
care of it. They
exactly.
just didn't have any kind of undercarriage protection.
Mhm.
Whoa.
So this is the inside of how it looks like.
Okay.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's where Noxudol come into it, and we make sure we protect it. you know.
Okay.
Yes. To see more of it, I hope that the camera
Okay.
can catch it a little
Okay,
bit
yeah,
more
they-
in
yeah, they
here.
cut a car in half.
Look at the car.
Wow.
This is all the areas where actually need to be protected by Noxudol.
See, yeah, it's
know.
interesting because I mean, I guess I just always assumed from looking at your product when you hear undercoating, you think, okay, it's just underneath the car, but that shows it's a lot more than just underneath the car.
This is something that the way I present it to the customers, I said, the undercoating is not just the external part. The key of it is the internal part of it, where we cannot see it. And that's where we use our cavity wax, which is, this is something funny, Greg, but
Please.
this is how I present it to my customer. I tell them, this is the medicine for your cut, all right? What we're gonna use is a 700 on the internal part, which is actually the medicine. And my 300 is the outside, so this is the bandage.
Okay. So
I'm not just going
the
to put a
tourniquet
bandage.
versus what the pills you gave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put just a bandage on it without putting the medicine, right?
Sure. We've seen what happens if you just put the bandage inside.
Right.
Yes.
And another thing that I always tell everybody, rust corrosion, it doesn't come from the outside in. It's always inside out. So why I'm going to address the outside for?
Right.
I got to protect the inside.
That's not because it's not starting on the outside. By the time you're just protecting the outside, it's too late.
Exactly. So people taking the cars to the car wash after a winter storm.
Yeah,
Right? They take
okay.
it to and get pressure washing underneath of the car.
Yeah.
Here's another good thing. The people I give them and they start thinking twice. Have you ever asked yourself, how many times do they change the water of the recycled car wash undercarriage pressure washer? How often?
I mean, I've never thought about that, but now that you're
So-
presenting to me, I'm wondering if it ever happens.
So that means, right? Everybody we go after a little storm, right?
Yeah.
Winter storm, we go there, clean up underneath.
Oh,
but
man.
this is contaminated water that I'm putting back in my car.
Right.
Correct?
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I mean, at best, it's contaminated water. That has to be what's happening.
So what I'm doing is instead of to protecting my car by taking the salt out of it, I
Right.
putting more salt into it.
And you're
Because-
specifically targeting it with the salt
Exactly.
from the car wash. Yeah.
So how the corrosion and the rust started is just when it's sitting in there and then air comes to it, contact to it, and that's where corrosion
The
starts.
oxidation
and
process
then,
for the corrosion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so
Oh,
this
geez.
is the actual thing that we really concern on the east side
Yes.
of the country, the 20 South Belt that we call it, you know, from Illinois to the east, bottom part, getting by Cleveland, Ohio, down to Kentucky and the north of the PA. So this is why Noxudol was created. And as I said, we not only have a product that they're not eco-friendly, and we have a very, very low solvent base, which is also BOC compliance on all states.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was about to ask you about it. Okay, so if you could tell us about, I mean, you mentioned that the green over here is the most eco-friendly.
Correct.
But even this only has a little bit of solvent.
It's-
and you're saying that in such a way like solvent is something to be avoided
Yes.
if possible.
Correct.
Could you tell us a bit about that since I'm learning all the things
you
here.
gotta remember right now it's a lot of regulations of OSHA and the environmental of the sites where the mechanics are working.
Gotcha,
So therefore, they have to be very eco-friendly and low solvent to it.
Okay.
That's the reason why Noxudol was created with the zero solvent base, completely
wow.
zero solvent.
Okay,
This is
zero
zero solvent
solvent.
base, and that's very low petroleum base because it's a petroleum paraffin base on it.
Okay.
All right. And this is our completely water base, which is nothing to it.
Oh, wow.
Nothing
Okay,
is
so the
gonna
water base is also solvent
Yes,
free.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So this is something funny.
Please.
You guys might look at it.
Okay.
This. I use it as a creamer.
Ah! Okay. That was
I'm not going to use anything solvent, but this is.
That's true. If it has solvent on it, you're not rubbing it on your skin
I
in
will.
public.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Now
So
it just looks like you put on sunscreen. I mean, just, I'm sitting here 3 feet from you.
So
yeah.
it protects me.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. You're not going to rust after that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I can go 80 more years. And we're going to have a lot of efforts for a while.
A lot of efforts for a while. No, that's great. Okay.
That's one thing.
I mean,
Yes,
but no,
yes.
but I mean, it's and if you're sitting there watching at home doubting this, like, no, this man just put it on it. There's no editing here. It just happened.
No,
And,
yes.
Okay, no, that's a very powerful demonstration that you would do that.
It is. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
but it's yes. Okay, so that's. It just hit me now. I keep staring at this thing. It's so interesting because you mentioned that this is internal, and yet due to all these white stains, it looks to me, a layperson, like this is the part that was outside in the elements.
Exactly.
Like that this was the one that got hit by the snow for so many
Exactly.
years.
Yes.
And it's the opposite
Yes.
of what happened.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so is there like, is it? I guess I'm fascinated by the solvent versus the eco-friendly. Is there like a reason? Are these like for different types of vehicles or different stages? What would make someone choose one versus the other here? Because you have so many lovely products here.
That's definitely would like to explain about that. It's got to do with a lot of with the municipalities and regulations of the states.
Gotcha. Okay.
There is a lot of states where it cannot be solvent at all in their facility on the new dealer that we're going to be the application for it. And there is other states where actually don't have the regulations.
Okay.
Okay, so therefore we'll go for that. So that's basically what it is. But both products are great products.
Yo, yeah.
It's just preference for it and regulations of the municipality where this particular dealer is located. So if it's located in, I will pick probably in really downtown Massachusetts in Boston, I would say.
Okay.
Metro area in Boston.
Sure.
And any dealer in there say, well, we cannot regulate because of the air in here.
Certainly.
So
I see.
we go with the eco-friendly.
Sure.
Then we go the center part of Massachusetts, I will say, or the west side of Massachusetts, and they say we don't have no regulations in
I see.
here.
We don't have the same
We
rules.
go with low solvent.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think even just from the way you're talking to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that like even this with the solvent in it, it's not like this is something bad by any means. This is still
no.
very eco-friendly compared to other products,
Yes.
just maybe not to the one that's completely solvent-free.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but I still can spray that one on my hand.
I see. Okay. Yeah. I'm
But
just
it's
sitting over here.
Yes, it's
yeah.
a little bit more, you know.
Okay.
So the solvent basically, if we try to understand what's the difference between the solvent and not
Sure.
solvent is, solvent base will evaporate faster and it will dry faster. That's what the solvent is.
Okay.
Here, the difference between if I get this liter of a 300, this is a pure material content. So therefore, the drying time on this one is longer than our 900 there because there is no agents to cure him in
I
here.
see.
So this one will stay wet to the touch and that will stay tacky to the touch because the agents of the solvent, it helps to cure a little bit more faster.
I see.
So that's probably taking a little bit back out of the thinning here. If you guys remember, we used to have paint, solvent paint.
Oh, I remember the name.
Okay.
I mean, I've certainly
And
heard
everybody,
that term
we
many times.
love it. Why?
because it dried quickly. And,
Right.
yes.
But now it's water-based.
Right.
And people thinking that because it doesn't have no smell, the solvent, so the product's no good.
Right. It's the exact opposite. That's just fine. It just happens to be a little bit better for
It
the
doesn't. It
environment.
doesn't have no solvent, so the smell is not in there. But it's
Okay.
because of that the solvent. It's
No,
yes.
that makes
Mhm.
sense. No,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. And,
Yes.
what an endorsement. Okay, so is it? So there's so many different cans, bottles. I'm not sure what the proper word is here in front of me. Like,
Yes.
are some of these for different kinds of cars or different cars in different situations? Like, what might make someone? Because you did earlier. You mentioned how the 300 was for the outside and the 700
Right.
was for the inside. Like,
Correct.
what? You know, if someone's sitting here thinking, okay, I've watched this Noxudol sounds like it might be
Right.
for me. Which ones do I want to invest in here?
Basically, it's also is a DUI. Take the back, not DUI.
I was waiting for you to explain that. Yeah.
Was do it yourself.
Do
right?
it yourself.
Do it
Okay.
yourself.
DIY.
DIY.
DIY,
Not
that's very
DUI,
different than
right?
DUI, yes.
It's a big difference. on it, right?
That's a different kind of DIY.
Okay, so if we're talking about the aerosol cans,
Okay.
it's something that you can do yourself.
Okay, you can
Yes, you
apply
can.
the aerosol
Yes.
cans yourself.
By yourself,
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
However, if you're going with the liter cans in here, it requires a special spray gun.
Okay.
It calls, a special gun and air. actually to be able to apply this on the car.
Oh, so if it's
right.
not the aerosol cans, it does require a
It does
professional.
require a professional to do it.
Okay.
And basically, we always recommend to have a professional do it. Yes.
Okay, even if, yes and no if the aerosol cans, a professional
Yes.
should, even if you're using the aerosol cans, a professional should apply it. Boy, that's great advice.
We definitely, because one thing is that if you don't prepare the area where you're going to be applying it, or make sure that there is no residues of any kind in there to have a chemical reaction to it. Okay, and when we do it ourselves, we see and say, oh, it's easy, I can go ahead and do it. Yes. If it's a brand new vehicle, I will say, yeah, you can go ahead and do it.
Right.
If it's an older vehicle, it requires a little preparation. So that's why we, Noxudol USA, certify the centers where it's going to be the application. We have centers around the 20 states where they're certified to do the application for Noxudol. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
so what you're saying, it's if it's a new vehicle, maybe that's where there's a bit more of a gray area. It's still best with a professional, but there's
Correct.
not any kind of residue, anything in there that might react negatively to having Noxudol applied to it. Whereas an older vehicle, one that's been around a bit, who knows exactly what's in that
Exactly.
undercarriage. So
Correct.
that's where you definitely want a pro to be involved to do the application.
To do the application, exactly. That's
Okay.
basically, yes. Another important thing, that I wanted to bring it is that nowadays we have heard and, about many of the manufacturer companies having some issues with the corrosion problem,
Okay.
They put in a lot of campaigns up there to, because of the corrosion.
Okay.
And actually, Noxudol was helping one of the really, really prominent companies,
Okay.
that had that issue, and we supplied to them for the campaign for that problem that they have with their vehicles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're telling me that a major car manufacturer, one that the layperson has heard of, had a bit of a significant issue with
Yes.
rust protection undercarriage, and they were like, all right, we can't fix this. Noxudol, come in and save us. And you guys brought as much of this stuff as possible and were able to
Yes.
help them through this campaign.
Correct.
And not just help them, obviously help the
Right, of
customers
course.
and,
Yes.
drivers.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
But we did. They actually it make you feel good because among other brands up there, there is a lot of good product, I would say, but they choose us.
Right.
There was a big reason why, So that's one of the things that we keep in there. Why we deliver the high quality product, and that's why they choose Noxudol.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I just couldn't help but think, I mean, if these multiple major car companies are choosing you, in addition to Volvo, whose name you can say since they've been
yes.
doing it for over a half century at this point, then this is absolutely the kind of thing that can work for a regular person in their car, their new car, to protect that.
Definitely, definitely. And the good thing is that, earlier we talked about if the single person can do the application. Yes, and it's available to the public too.
Okay.
As I was saying earlier, there is some of them that require the special equipment, but if you live in a close area where, the 20 South Belt, feel free to go to our website, noxudolusa.com, and then you can find and put your zip code on it and look at the closest application center where, they can do that for you.
No, that's great. So that makes sense. If you want to get this kind of rust protection for your vehicle, just go to the site, noxudolusa.com, which I'm sure is going to pop up on this video, hopefully. And you can click on that, and that'll be where it'll direct you to find the ones in your area. So Noxudol, I mean, you've obviously shown what this can do for cars, vehicles, and I'm thinking, geez, if there's, machines in the marine industry are certainly ones that deal with a lot of water and corrosion. Does this stuff help with that as well, with marine industry machines, and if so, how?
Yes, definitely. Actually, we had a good customer back in the area of Massachusetts. They built in really huge boats and jets,
Yeah,
or either
personal watercraft.
luxury
Luxury,
bulbs, right?
okay, luxury bulb.
Noxudol also create a product specifically for that reason because it's a resort luxury. You're gonna pay $1.2 million for it.
Oh, yeah,
Yet,
I mean, you're gonna be
all right?
spending all
And
kinds
then
of money.
you don't want to hear any noise into it on
Not
the
for
engine
that
compartment. So Noxudol has a product for that reason
Hey,
too.
okay.
And also it has a rust inhibitor in it, you know, that prevent, because it's these yachts are built with aluminum, all right? So the heat of the waves, it makes sound. So
Oh,
it will
yeah, absolutely, when it's going through the
it will
wake, yeah.
damp the sound to it also too. Yes.
Oh, wow.
So we do, Noxudol also carry products for the marine industry too.
Okay, so Noxudol for a luxury yacht, it will, you know, provide the same level of protection in terms
Yes.
of rust, but it will also keep you from just smacking the wave,
sound
giving
of
you a
it,
more
of
like
course,
pleasant
or
ride.
the engine compartment,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
with it. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Noxudol, yes, is not only on the corrosion department itself. It has sound denting too, you know. And we have also another product in here.
Please, I was going to ask
that
about
is-
this thing. I
yes.
wasn't sure if it was tied up with the
Yeah,
water
yeah.
guy or not. Okay.
These are basically, it's called Action 4. all right?
Action 4.
Yes. And it does make that action when it comes in place. Basically, it's a penetration lubricant that eludes any bolt or nut that is corroded.
Okay, so so this is a penetration lubricant that helps to remove any nut or bolt that's corroded.
Yes.
Wow.
Exactly.
Okay, now is this like, I mean, is that like outside of just your car? Or is that like you can use this in anything?
Any.
Wow.
Any. Yes.
Okay.
Not only for the vehicle industry,
Huh.
but anything in there.
Okay,
Yes.
and I bet that's something you can use DIY too. You don't
Yes,
need to do it
exactly.
with the
Yes.
application. Okay,
Yeah.
wow, so
Yes.
that's especially helpful. I had no idea. I thought that was also
Yes.
water-based.
No, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you can use this in any like personal product, or maybe there's a project or something. It's, you know,
Any.
corroded for a long time and you can't get those bolts out. This will be able to do that.
Exactly.
Huh.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So we have a little bit of everything. I would
Yes,
say
you
that
do.
We cover in there. Yes.
I'm very
Yes.
impressed.
Yes. Yes. So we can go from aerosol to a big, if you could see it in there,
Yeah.
to a big drum of it.
Yeah, no matter how much of this
Yes.
you need, there is a
Yes.
container to fit your
No
needs
problem.
here. This is, they
Yes.
got, you know, barrels about as tall as I am. They got these things in different sizes and obviously
Yes.
in different methods of application.
Of application, exactly. Yes.
It seems like there's a real customization aspect to this, like what a person might need Noxudol for or how you guys provide it.
Yeah, we get a lot of customers, you know, that they reach out to us and ask a lot of questions in it, you know, with the issues that they have in up there, you know. So there is also customers that they having problem because it's a brand new vehicle and they know for a fact they wanted to protect it. You got to remember, vehicle is our second biggest investment.
Oh, yes,
You know.
100%.
And so you really wanted to protect it, and there is Noxudol.
Yes.
Noxudol is to protect it. Yes. Yeah.
You did mention you get some questions from customers. You know, if there's a few prospective customers or returning customers watching this, are there any questions that maybe you get a little more frequently from customers than usual that you'd like to take a moment here to, you know, respond to?
Probably one of the very common is between the eco-friendly against the solvent-based.
Okay.
And as I always say, basically the difference between this and the solvent-based is solvent.
Ah.
This is pure product.
Okay.
There is nothing in it.
You didn't
This
add
is
anything else. That's
nothing
just the
on it,
product
it's
itself.
just the product itself.
Okay.
That one, yes, it got some very low solvent in it.
Okay.
You know, so that's one of the biggest differences. Another question that we get to it, Greg, is
Please.
do we have anything that is touch and it dry to the touch completely?
Oh, okay. Is it dry
and
to the
that's
touch?
where it comes here.
Oh.
This is our water-based 1100.
Okay.
Okay, this is a complete product that will evaporate and it dries completely. You
Wow.
can touch it right after 45 an hour, depends on the climate where you're spraying it, when you're doing the application.
Where you're spraying it, with the weather,
exactly,
the climate's like air. Okay.
So it dries completely to the touch.
Huh. Wow.
That's That Noxudol 1100, which is a water-based product.
Okay, and
Yes.
as water-based, it also lacks the solvent, I assume.
Yes, exactly.
It dries entirely to the touch. Okay,
Yeah,
that is
exactly.
I bet you do get that question a lot. That makes a lot of sense that you'd want to answer that
we
one.
do
I
have
think.
we do have a lot. Yes, they asking if we have anything that is completely dry. Some customers, they wanted to fix their car and they wanted to paint over.
They want to
Okay.
paint over it once it's done.
So
okay.
this is something
Hence,
that
right,
works.
this, because then it's entirely dry and you can paint
And
over
then you
that to
paint
make
over
it fit.
exactly. Compared to these other two, they're not. So yeah, it's just a preference what the customer would like to. But those are one of the questions that we get is if a product is dry to the touch, and that's where the 1100 comes in place. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think we.
I was going to
covered
say
a
you
lot.
have been so helpful. This is I always say I learn a lot on these things, but I always learn a lot on these things, and I especially have today. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us that I didn't ask you about? That's okay if not, because you've covered so much.
No, I think we cover almost everything.
I-
But like I said, anybody who's watching right now, feel free to reach out to our website. Call us to the office also. There's a lot of information in the website. And yes, that's what we're here for, to help you make your car last longer.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Efrain.
Thank you,
This was
Greg.
great. I appreciate it.
Thank
No,
you,
I
thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All
All right.
right. On behalf of Website Depot, my name's Greg Benevent. Take it easy. Have a good day.